Greeting to all of you. Today, the topic of my discussion is working capital management. So, I would like to start from the working capital, then I'll go to the working capital management, its importance, characteristic, and other thing I will discuss one by one. So, let me introduce this working capital. See, in every business needs funds for two purposes. One is for carrying out day-to-day operation, and another is for establishment. For establishment, long fund needs, which required to create production facilities to purchase a fixed asset such as plant and machinery. But for short-term decision, current or decision related with the current assets and current liabilities, this working capital needs, and this working capital meet your day-to-day expenses of the business enterprises. So capital required for a business can be classified, as I told you, that fixed capital, which is need for the establishment and for the production purposes, need to purchase plant and machinery. But here we will focus only for the second type of capital, that is which is also known as the lifeblood of and the nerve system of a business, and it is very essential for maintaining the smooth running of business. Then why does this matter? So you can find lot of definition through online or Google. Various platforms are also there but one thing is missing. Why this working capital? So see, when you manage your working capital, surely if everybody is knowing that in a business, and if you don't know, then for you I'll let you know that in a business your capital, means working capital, should be adequate, nor neither less nor excess, because so for that reason we need to manage the adequate capital, adequate cash, which can help you to success of your business. See, this what is working capital is a difference between the see, in the company business, in simple words you can say the working capital refers to that part of the firm's capital which is required for financing short term or current assets such as cash, marketable securities, debtors and inventories, and fund thus invested in current assets keep revolving fast and are being constantly converted into cash, and these cash flows out again in exchange for other current assets. It is also known as revolving or circulating capital or short-term capital, you can say. So I have taken here one example, that here is a one hair salon. He is having the assets total assets of 1,60,000 and liabilities of 65,000. So it's assets, current assets. It is basically this current assets 1,60,000. Then liabilities, current liabilities of 65,000. The remaining balance is 95,000. That 95,000 will be the working capital. It may be in the terms of cash, short-term debt, or inventory, or anything it can be, which can be immediately liquidate within a year. So that is current assets, current assets, and your working capital should be it's a excess of current assets over current liabilities. Your current assets should always be excess of current liabilities, so that you can pay your liabilities, and you can pay the debt of short-term debts. So in standard way it can be said that your current asset should be 2 and liability should be 1. 2:1 it is said. Working capital is already we have discussed. For every business it needs positive working capital. If your business it is in negative working capital, so and how your negative working capital will be? For working capital calculation, current assets minus current liabilities. If your current liability is more, if your current liability is excess to current assets, so that time your working capital will be negative. But that is not good. As I told you that your working capital should be positive, means current assets should exceed your current liabilities. So working capital is a part of capital which is used to meet day-to-day expenses of the business enterprises. It is the excess of current assets over current liabilities. There are two. One, if I say that according to Shabin, he has told that working capital is the amount of fund necessary to cover the cost of operating the enterprises. And if I say that the Ginnestenberg, he has told that the circulating capital means the current assets of a capital company that are changed in the ordinary course of business from one form to another, that is from cash to inventories, inventories to receivable, and receivable to into cash. You can see here that I'll take this pointer, I'll check this point. See, I have taken this operating cycle of working capital, but this is for the manufacturer or this is for the service provider. For manufacturer, it started from the cash, goes to the purchase of stock, then supplier payment, then work in progress, then sales and debtors, and again it will be converted into the cash. So this is the operating cycle for the manufacturer. But as for the service provider concern, here only three step is given here: cash, then they will sales, then again the debtors will generate pay the money, and this will be the service provider operating cycle. Okay, see the concept of capital, working capital. There are two concepts as per the balance sheet concept, and second one is the operating or circular flow concept. And the balance sheet concept, the gross working capital invest in total current assets of the enterprises. When you go to check the balance sheet of any kind of business, you will find the entire current asset will be your working capital, gross working capital. But as for the net working capital concern, you have to subtract the current liabilities from the current assets. The current assets minus current liabilities will be your net working capital. Okay, so second is that operating cycle or circulating flow concept, to whom we say GOC. What is this? Gross operating cycle. Then RMCP, raw material conversion period. Then WIPCP, work in progress conversion period. And FGCP, finished goods conversion period. And RCP, that is receivable conversion period. From all these things, it started from the raw material, then work in progress, then finished good, then receivable. Once complete this cycle, it will become the gross operating cycle. We will discuss one by one here. Now the thing is that what are the components of current liabilities and current assets? So you can see here the current components of current assets, that is cash in hand, cash at bank, bills, receivables, sundry debtors, short-term loans and advances, stock, prepaid expenses, and accrued income, etc. As for the current liabilities is there, that is bills payable, sundry debt creditors, outstanding expenses, short-term loans, advance and deposits, dividend payable, bank overdraft, provision for taxations. How to calculate this working capital and net working capital? I have taken one question that suppose Maxon Limited has current assets of rupees 5 lakh and current liabilities of rupees 3 lakh. Fixed assets are rupees 1 lakh and long term debt is rupees 1 lakh. Short term debt include in the current liabilities above it's rupees 25,000. They calculate the working capital of the company and analyze the same. Okay, let's see. See, I have taken this question. You have check here. This is the question which I have taken here. Okay. This is the question. We will solve it. Calculation of gross working capital and net working capital. Let's see how you calculate this gross working capital and net working capital. As far the gross working capital is concerned, so total current assets will be your gross working capital. So in the question it is given that Maxon, suppose Maxon Limited has rupees current assets of rupees 5 lakh, means your gross working capital will be your 5 lakh. So total current asset given in the question is rupees 5 lakh, hence gross working capital is rupees 5 lakh. Note here I have given what, for what reason I have given. Let's see. If total current assets are not given, then you have to add all the given components of current asset, that is cash in hand, debtor, stock, inventories, all. So when you will add up all, you will find your current assets. Okay, then next one is net working capital. What is net working capital? That is current assets minus current liabilities. As I told you, for current asset given in the question is rupees 5 lakh. Okay, and current liability in the question it is given here, you can check here, that is 3 lakh rupees. Current liability is 3 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh minus 3 lakh will be your net working capital, that is 2 lakh. The remaining balance will be 2 lakh. So hence net working capital is equal to 2 lakh. Note, if total current liabilities are not given, then you have to add up all the given components of current liabilities like bills payable, creditors, bank overdraft, etc. Next topic is operating cycle or circular flow concept. What is this? Actually, it's referred to that part of firm's capital which is required for financing short term or current assets such marketable securities, inventories, debtors. So in this hence invested funds in current assets keep revolving fast, as I told you earlier, that are being constantly converted into cash, and this cash flow out again for exchange other current assets. So it is also called revolving and circulating capital. See, you can see here, if it is visible, you can see here that this started from the cash received from debtors and paid to the supplier of raw material. Then this cycle moved to the right side. Okay, you can check raw material conversion period. It's then work in process conversion period. Then second step work in process. Then finished good conversion period. Then receivable conversion period. This is the cycle. Once the cycle you in operating cycle, it will start from the raw material. You will invest for purchasing the raw material, then it will go for the work in progress, and hereafter the product will be finished, and to whom we can say finished goods, and now it will be ready for the sales. Once you sell, you may sell your product into the credit. If suppose the cash, immediately you can sell your product cash or credit. If you are selling your product on cash, means immediately you are receiving cash, but in case of credit sales, you will take time for the payment. So once you receive the payment, again it will once you receive the payment, it will complete your one cycle. So now you have to find in this that how much time it's taking once you are investing your cash, how much time it's taking to come back. So all the once it revolve and complete this one cycle. Okay, so complete this cycle, so that days we will count, that is operating cycle. Okay, I will have a question. See, in the calculation of operating cycle, how we will calculate, there are some few steps are given. Step 1 is net operating cycle is equal to gross operating cycle minus payable deferral period. Step 2 is gross operating cycle is equal to what? How to calculate gross operating cycle? For gross operating cycle, you have to find out first raw material conversion period, work in progress conversion period, finished good conversion period, and receivable conversion period. See this period from this to this is your raw material conversion period. So first you have to find how much time it's taking from raw material to work in progress. Then it will move to the finished goods. So how much it's taking time from work in progress to finished goods. Then it will start to go for the ready to sell. So how much time it's taking from finished good to sales. Then after selling, how much time it's taking to receive that amount, means into cash. So all this 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 ingredients you have to find out. Through this, to whom we say this is raw material, work in progress, finished good, and receivable. This PDP is the payable deferral period. Let's see. RMCP means raw material conversion period. How to calculate? First you have to take average stock of raw material, how much average stock you have, divided by raw material consumption per day. You have to calculate like that. Then average stock of raw material, second for work in progress, average stock of work in progress divided by total cost of production per day. Then finished goods conversion period. For this, average stock of finished good divided by total cost of goods sold per day. Then receivable conversion period. For this, average accounts receivable divided by net credit sales per day. And for the PDP, average payable divided by net credit purchase per day. It's okay. Let's move this. Let's have a question. This problem number 1. From the following information extracted from the book of a manufacturing concern, compute the operating cycle in days. Period covered, it is given 365 days. If it is not given, then in that time you can assume 360 or 365 as per your choice. There is no problem. So average period of credit allowed by the supplier. See, this is the your PDP, payable deferral period. Here it is given already. If it is suppose in the question, some of the question you may not get, so in that time you have to calculate this, but here it is given, so that's why it is not required to calculate. Okay, average total of debtor outstanding is there, raw material consumption there, total production there, total cost of goods sold for the year is there, sales for the year, value of average stock maintained, raw material, work in progress, finished goods also there. So how to calculate? First we will start from the raw material conversion period. For raw material conversion period, you can see here this average stock of raw material is equal to 320. It is written here given. How is given? Average stock. Can we check average stock? Yes. Value of average stock material, raw material 320. Here it is given 320. So we will take this 320. 320. Okay. Next one is to said that raw material consumption per day. Raw material consumption per day also is equal to 4,400. Can we check where it is? 4,400. Yes, this is raw material. consumption, you can check here. Okay, raw material consumption 4400. Okay, fine. So it is very simple. Once you find out this 320 divided by 4400 multiply by 365, and you can find your 27 days it is taking to complete one step. Yeah, from raw material to work in progress it is taking 27 days. Now move towards the work in progress, then calculate. Second one is work in progress. Work in progress, average stock of work in progress divided by total cost of production per day given. What are the given? Average stock of work in progress, it is given. Can we check here? Yes, check. 350 it is given. Work in progress it is given 350. Okay, go. 350 I have taken. Then total cost of production per day. Total cost of production per day. Total cost production 10,000 it is given here. Let's see. 10,000 it is given. So it is very easy. Now work in progress conversion period is equal to 350 divided by 100 multiply by 365. It will come 13 days. Means from work in progress to finished good it is taking 13 days for work in progress. Okay. Then finished goods conversion period. For finished good conversion period you can check here. Average stock of finished good divided by total cost of goods sold. Okay. So average stock of finished good, it's 260 it is given, and 10,500 it is given for the total cost of goods sold. Let's see here. 10,000 total cost of goods sold it is given 10,500, and for what was the finished goods. Finished good here it is given 360. Okay, go there. Sorry, 260 divided by 10,500 multiplied by 350 65, it will come 9 days. It is taking 9 days. Then how much time it is taking to receive the amount? Receivable conversion period. For this, average account receivable divided by net credit sales per day given. Average account receivable 480 and net credit sales per day 16,000. Go back and let's check. Average total of debtor outstanding 480 is here. Then how much net credit sales? Here sales for the year 16,000. Sales for the year 16,000 it is given. So we will take sales for the year, net credit sale or sales for the year. If the credit sales are not given, then you can take sales. So sales is given here. So 480 divided by 16,000 multiplied by 365, it will come 11 days. See, this is the 11 days. Okay, once you complete this 11 days, so for you can check here for receivable conversion period it is taking 27 days, for work in progress 13 days, for finished goods 9 days, and for receivable conversion period 11 days. And PDP already I told you in the question it is given 16 days. It will be minus. Let's see. Calculation of net operating cycle. Calculation of net operating cycle is equal to gross operating cycle minus payable deferral period, whereas gross operating cycle period is equal to RMCP 27 days, WIPCP 13 days, FGCP 9 days, and RCP 11 days. So total become 60 days. This is your 60 days for the gross operating cycle. Now you have to subtract the credit period you are getting. You are getting 16 days credit period. Payable deferral period is your credit period you are getting from your creditors. So this time you have to subtract. Means net operating cycle is equal to gross operating conversion period minus payable deferral period is equal to 60 which we have calculated minus 16. It will come 44 days. Therefore net operating cycle is equal to 44 days. So this is the calculation of operating cycle. You can do like that. How to solve problem number 2? I am not going to discuss here. You will check this question, take a screenshot of it, and you try to solve this question. There are two company X and Y. For both the company all the informations are given only in the similar way that I have told you earlier. That same way you have to solve this question also. Same formula you put, every informations are here. And here it is said that 360, here already told 360 days you have to take. 360 days. Earlier it was 365, but here for X company prepare a separate column, for Y company prepare a separate column, and you calculate this receivable conversion raw material conversion period, work in progress conversion period, finished good conversion period, and receivable conversion period. And for the same way you will calculate for Y as well. And creditors period also you have to calculate. It is 20,000 is given, and you can calculate accordingly. Purchase and of raw material also they were 1,60,000. Through this you can calculate payable deferral period. You do it. Come to the classification or kinds of working capital. See, on the basis of concept, if I talk about, so already I have discussed this gross working capital and net working capital. If I discuss on the basis of time concept, gross working capital, net working capital on the basis of time, permanent capital, temporary capital. Permanent capital means the whole year your working capital will be fixed, there will not be any changes. You have to minimize, you have to maintain your working capital inside the business. But in the temporary working capital, some of the time or any uncircumstances it needs, so for that reason you need to maintain your working capital. See, for the permanent capital there are two type of capital, regular working capital and reserve working capital. In this also, regular means the entire year you have to maintain your working capital, but reserve, so reserve means the seasonal working capital, means some of the product you need to produce at the time of season. So for that reason you have to maintain and you have to purchase all the raw material and your continue production accordingly. So for that reason you have to need working capital. So reserve working capital should also be there. And sorry, I discussed I did a wrong. Actually reserve means seasonal, it's a temporary, I have discussed, sorry for that. Reserve working capital is which we reserve for time being, for any uncircumstances situation. For that reason we manage reserve working capital. Whereas temporary working capital, seasonal working capital is there, special type of working capital is there. If you get any kind of production or any kind of order for the production, so that time you need to maintain your working capital. For that reason, like so special working capital is there. And seasonal working capital, some of the products are season based. For that production you have to maintain your seasonal working capital. Now the importance, why this working capital is important, just because of the solvency of the business. If you have idea about your working capital efficiency, your working capital capacity, your cash management is adequate, your cash balance is adequate in the business, your business will never will be solvent. Okay, so it will help you to manage your solvency of the business. Then goodwill, if you maintaining all these things and your business and your profit is consistent, your repo, your quality, your everything will be maintained in the market, so it will help you to manage your goodwill. Then easy loan, third one is easy loan. You suppose want to take loan, any kind of loan, like short term loan or long term loan. If your performance is good, if your management of working capital is good and efficient, so if they will see, if the finance institution will see your report and they will see that you are successfully managing your working capital, it will be easy to get loan. Then regular payment of salaries, wages and other expenses. If you have adequate working capital and managing properly, managing accordingly, so it will be easy to give your it will be easy to pay the salaries, wages and other expenses to your employees. If your employees will be getting salaries, wages on time, or other expenses you are doing, meeting all the expenses day to day, so it will help you to manage your business performance. Cash discount, you can also give the cash discount as well. Then exploitation of favorable market condition, you can go through the market, favorable market condition you can see, and if you're managing working capital effectively, so your market condition will be favorable. Ability to face crisis, some of the times what happened, you need to face the crisis, in that time you can manage through your working capital. Let's take example, this time the production has been stagnant due to the COVID pandemic, so in that time, in this kind of crisis, you can successfully manage your successfully manage your production, continue your production. Once the lockdown will open, you can continue your production, you can manage all the thing accordingly. If quick and regular return on the investment, and this will help you also to get the return from the investment quickly. Regular supply of your production will not stop if your working capital is adequate, and high morale. See, now the thing is, what is working capital management? See, working capital generally refer to the access, as I told you, the access of current assets and over current liabilities. The working capital management is concerned with the problem that arises in attempting to manage the current assets, the current liabilities, and it will help you to take the decision related with the short term or current assets and current liabilities in terms of relationship between them. And the basic goal of working capital is to manage the current assets and liabilities of a firm in such a way that satisfactorily level of capital is maintained, and it should neither be inadequate or nor excess. Okay, The consequence of being inadequate or excess of working capital may put your business in danger. So there are three components are also there related with the working capital which you need to manage. One is cash, to whom we say cash management, already I have discussed in my other videos. Then another one is inventory management and receivable management. These all three separately, individually you have to manage, and if you are successfully managing your these three components of working capital, your business will not be in danger, and you can manage yourself, your business can be managed, and you can touch your success. See, what are the working capital policies? Working capital policies of a firm have a great effect on profitability. Whatever the policies you have, which the policy will impact on profitability, liquidity, and it will also help you to for the structural health of the organization. Hence, working capital should in three dimensions. That is, the first dimension is concerned with the formulation policies related with the profitability, risk, and liquidity. Second dimension is all about the composition of level of current assets, and third one is for the composition and level of current liabilities. You can check here, one dimension is for the profitability, risk, and liquidity, another one is for the current liabilities, and the third one is for the current assets. See the working capital policy. This working capital policy, there are three types of working capital policy. One is for conservative conservative policy, another one is moderate policy, and third one is aggressive policy. See, conservative policy. As for conservative policy is concerned, in that case, when all or most of the working capital needs are made by the long-term sources, and thus the firms avoid the risk of insolvency. So under conservative policy, the working capital is primarily financed by long-term sources. Second one is moderate policy, to whom we say matching policy also, or hedging policy. It is a strategy of working capital financing wherein short-term requirements are met with the short-term debts, and long-term requirements are met with the long-term debts. The underlying principle is that each asset should be compensated with a debt instrument having almost the same maturity. And the third one is aggressive policy. An aggressive working capital policy is one in which you try to squeeze by with a minimal investment in current assets, and coupled with an extensive use of short-term credit. So this was the aggressive policy. Thank you so much for watching this.